So the plan today is, oh, just dropped something, is to head south towards the Stelvio Pass. I'm not sure I'm going to do the Stelvio Pass today or just going to camp close by and do it tomorrow, but it's about 400 kilometers from here, which is what I want to be riding on a daily basis anyway, so I think it's probably going to happen today. It's forecast to be 26 degrees and sunny, but it's overcast and probably about 15 at the moment, but it is only 8 o'clock in the morning, so things will probably change. But yeah, decent night's sleep last night. A lot of rain before I got into bed, but that didn't matter. It just means that everything's a little bit wet today, but hey, all good. Right, so just plotted in my route down to the Stelvio, and it's saying 382 kilometers. Yeah, 382 kilometers, 5 hours and 45 minutes, which means if I leave, yeah, I'll be there before 3 o'clock. This is Nikki, by the way.
Hi.
We're just talking bikes. This is her bike. Where have you guys ridden from?
Hamburg.
Hamburg.
Yeah. So in my home city we say moin.
Moin.
Yes.
For morning or?
Not for everything.
For everything. Moin.
Sounds like hello.
Yeah. Moin. Okay. Right. This is the BMW that's single cylinder. I knew they did have one. And you're telling me there's a GS with it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the bike you want if you don't want to do any maintenance ever. You can just ride it. This is very tidy. For being 20 years old, it's really tidy. Gotta say, I'm glad I brought the toolkit with me because I've had a few things come a little bit loose on this trip. One of them being the brake pedal, which obviously wouldn't be a good thing if that just fell off as I was riding along. But there's a lot of rattling going on these motorways. And that all seems fine there. Actually, it hasn't loosened off at all since yesterday. I'm going to check my pannier mounts. Let's make sure they're all good as well. Right. It is time to hit the road. 2 t-shirts today. Repping the Victor motorcycles. So what I don't get is that even though I've only got a few bags, like almost nothing, I've actually lost a whole bottle of contact lens solution. Like, where does, I know I haven't like lost it, but where does something like that actually go? I have no idea. I don't know. Not sure if I've left anything here. Nothing. Heading out of Stuttgart. I can't work out what's happened to my bottle of contact lens solution. It just kind of disappeared into thin air. That's okay. Worse things have been lost, I suppose. I've got about 5 pairs of contact lenses with me just in case I need them. So I didn't get to the Porsche museum. I didn't get to the Mercedes museum, which is just over here apparently. But in all honesty, I see Porsches and Mercedes all the time. It's not really all that exciting, is it, really? Oh, that's a red light. Pay attention. So I would rather see the city or part of the city of Stuttgart than go and look at a bunch of cars in a museum. I think that's fair. That's probably sacrilege to some people that live for Porsche and Mercedes. So I got 381 kilometers to go. Should be there by, if I just did one long trip, by 25 to 4, but I'm not going to do that, am I? I'm going to be stopping. I need coffee soon as well. Ended up chatting with some lovely German people, and now it's 9:45. That's part of the journey though, isn't it? It's meeting people. I'd normally be out and about earlier. Why is it still red? There's just Porsches everywhere here. Are those real quad pipes though? I can only see smoke coming out of one side. They wouldn't do fake pipes, would they, on Porsches? I don't know. Turns out I was quite a lot closer to the Austrian border than I thought, so I had to get myself one of these, which allows me to drive on the Austrian motorways for 10 days. So it was only like €5 or something, so it's not too bad, but yeah, I would have. There was a girl at the petrol station that said, "Do you need a vignette?" And I said, "I don't even know what that is," but there we go. There it is, stuck on the bike, ready to go. That's a bit of a crazy bridge. I think it's got like it's either a glass bottom or a mesh bottom on it. For a section of it anyway, at least. That looks pretty nuts. Crossed over into Austria. Pretty uneventful kind of border crossing again. It's like you just riding down the road, and then suddenly this little sign says "Welcome to Austria." And you're like, "Oh, I'm here." So anyway, I'm here, riding through the Alps, and the scenery is, as expected, quite breathtaking. I probably haven't seen anything yet because I've only been in Austria for about 20 minutes or something. So there's going to be lots to see, but I don't think I'm going to go to the Stelvio, all the way to the Stelvio Pass today. I think I'm going to stay in the Alps somewhere. So I'm going to have a look on my sat nav, see where there's a local town. I need something to eat. I haven't eaten any greens since Monday, and it's Thursday, and I could do with some broccoli or something like that. So I'll have to see what I can find. I'm going to find a campsite, set up camp there, and then go and explore in a local town or something like that. So anyway. I've ended up in the Alps somewhere. I keep forgetting the name. Imst. And I'm not that far from Innsbruck. So tomorrow I will be hitting the Stelvio Pass, which I thought I might do today, but I actually felt a little bit tired coming down through Germany and into Austria. Just felt a little bit of fatigue. So I thought just stop. And so I stopped and it's been great. So I've had a little look around Imst. The weather's lovely. I'm gonna have a massive pizza now because I'm starving. And the chef is Turkish, so that's quite cool. And then tomorrow I hit the road fairly early, I reckon, and get down through the Stelvio Pass. And I think this is where the temperature's really going to change. So it's going to go from being, you know, comfortable to being maybe a little bit uncomfortable heat-wise. So this might be the start of like early mornings, because I'm going to be, not tomorrow, possibly the next day, I will be hitting Croatia. So that's going to be getting really hot. But having a beer and a pizza, it's the best. As you can see, I am in the Alps basically, and I've just had one of those encounters with people where you're like, this is incredible, and I'm going to stay in touch with them. But basically stopped for a pizza. Turns out the woman that runs the pizza place is Turkish, which was quite cool, and there's another Turkish guy, but everybody that worked there was refugees. And we just got talking about like the differences that we experience. Like, I've gone through these kind of fluid borders, you know, France, England, France. I mean, even in France, even though we're not part of the EU anymore, I got to the border control. I had my motorcycle helmet on. They didn't even ask you to remove the helmet. They just looked at my passport and gave it back to me, and then let me move on. And then, you know, France to Belgium was nothing, and Belgium to Luxembourg was nothing, and Luxembourg into Germany was nothing, and Germany into Austria was nothing. These fluid borders, and yet these guys that have kind of fled terrible things in life they can't go anywhere without basically being strip searched, without all kinds of terrible things going on. And we just got talking about that, and how like the absolute hell that people have got to go through in order to find peace, when peace should be the thing that is the basic standard in life, that you should have peace, you should be able to experience peace, you should be able to enjoy peace. And then when you go to find it, it shouldn't be this thing that you're kind of punished for looking for it. Here in Austria, what a fantastic thing that they can run a shop in Austria and have guests and clients and customers and all that kind of stuff. But I live in a different world of freedom than they do, and some of them haven't seen their family for 6 or 7 years, and you know, yeah, and here I am just flying over borders, and I don't even know I've crossed them half the time. Yeah, it's different, but hey, I've got his number. I'm going to stay in touch with him. I wanted to film it all, but it would kind of have made it wrong.